Hi, I'm Larson and welcome. I am an artist, educator, and gardener, and I'm here to guide you through the summer of shapes. I can't wait to explore more with you over the course of the next 5 days. So I'm here to show you some of the materials you'll be receiving. Just so you know, some of the materials may be slightly different, but they're still the same medium, so they might not be the same brand. This is for my personal collection, and Flesher will be supplying you with your own. So you'll get a pencil, which we will use throughout the course of the class. You'll also be receiving a marker and some colored pencils and a brush and glue, as well as tape. You'll also be receiving watercolor. Something to think about when you're using watercolor is keeping your brush clean, so thoroughly washing your brush out in your cup of water when you're using it is really important, so you don't mix the colors. So that's one really important thing to think about before we start watercolor. You'll also be receiving a ruler, which will be very helpful for the first project, and we may use for the other projects as well if you feel called to do so. You'll also be getting some form of oil pastels, and those are kind of like crayons, depending on where you're from, how you say it. For certain projects, it may be handy to pull the paper off. For other projects, it may be very handy to keep it on, depending on if you want to cover a surface, a flat surface, or get more detailed. And you should also be receiving a pen of some form, and that'll be very helpful for some of the detailed work we'll be working on over the next few days. And then there'll also be mixed media paper and some form of construction colored paper. For our first project today, we'll be working on a project called the Square Project. You'll see an example here of a finished example, and I will go through step by step to show you how to develop this project. And please be sure to make sure this project is something that you use your own intuitive knowledge. So it's like free-flowing lines after we begin with some stable lines, which we'll make with using a ruler. We'll take our ruler and measure out either 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 inch squares. So to do that, you'll take and place your ruler on the edge of your paper. And for this project, I chose to do the 2 for this example. So I just put a tick mark at the line by the 2, then continue on the line by the 4, line by the 6, line by the 8 on the top of my page. And then I bring it down to the lower end and make sure to line up my ruler and go back 10. And just be aware that this project may be different for you if you choose to do the 1. If you do 1, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, continued. And then you'll take your ruler and connect the top line with the bottom, and you'll draw a straight line from top to bottom and continue down to fill the page. And then you'll do it again on the other side. So I'll rotate and mark again the 2, 4, 6, 8 on the bottom, and do the same on the top, trying to align it up. And then from this point, you get the option to draw whatever sorts of lines you feel to in each box. In the boxes, you can choose to use different medium. What could be very fun is to do something with different mediums in each box. So for example, I went pen, marker, pencil, colored pencils, pen, marker, pencil, colored pencils, and just starting to make a pattern using different forms, different mediums. And from that point on, just continuing with a pattern. And maybe you don't feel to use a different medium for a pattern, but you feel to use like colors or shapes to continue along. And I'll take a few moments just to show you a short example on how I might approach this project. In the box, I'm starting with a pencil, and I would have finished and drawn my lines across from the top to bottom. And I would go back in and draw some fluid shapes because I really do enjoy that, and I find it somewhat meditative to work in this manner. Just filling the space. And from there, I'm changing to my marker, and I find it fun to connect the lines from one box to the next, but have a different medium. And I'm just filling in the space. And then for another part of it, I may take the colored pencil and really change the way I did make my lines. And just working to fill my space. And I may even choose to bring out my oil pastels and put some of those colors in the space. So using multiple different mediums can be really fun for projects like this. Becomes very intuitive. You can get really detailed or keep it a little looser. And so for the square project, just remember to have fun and follow your intuition with the mark making.